What's up guys, Footballpedia here, back again with another video. Now if you're wondering why I'm all gross and sweaty and red, that's because I just filmed the How to Get Better at Fitness, How to Get Better Fitness video that came up last weekend. So if you haven't checked that out yet, make sure you go check that out for some really good tips on how to maintain and become a better soccer player by raising your fitness. But enough promotion and advertisement aside, I'm back again with another video today. This time, as this title and thumbnail suggests, how to get a harder and better shot. Now, if you're a forward, this video is a must and you definitely should watch it, but I also recommend that midfielders and defenders watch this video because, as you know, defenders and midfielders oftentimes also score goals or have, if even more than forwards, have long distance shot opportunities in games as well as in practice, and for that you just really need to have a good hard shot. Moral of the story, any position on the field, even a keeper, might as well watch this video and learn how to get a more powerful shot through a couple of very easy techniques. I'm gonna break down every portion, every part of taking a shot in this video, be giving you advice step by step and really showing you how to perfect your shot, then giving you guys a couple drills on how to improve them, and then lastly I have a very special bonus tip, so make sure you watch until the end of the video. This bonus tip is something that I guarantee you all professional soccer players use, and even a lot of NFL football kickers, if not all of them, use this trick as well. So make sure you watch up until the very end so that it all makes sense and you can piece it together. And now with that being said, let's get straight into the video. So as I said, the first thing I'll be doing is breaking down your shot step by step. Now, there's really only a very couple steps that are all very important. The first one being the kind of your step backs, your run up, but not the actual run up itself, but just the steps you take back. Secondly, it is the run up, so actually running into the ball right just before your foot hits the ball. And then lastly, or two steps I should say, is the kicking motion. The first part of that being actually hitting the ball, striking it with what part of the foot to strike it with. And then lastly, the follow through, which is a very important step to this process as well. Now what I've gone ahead and done is I've set up a goal here at the field, and I'll be basically walking you through it step by step, showing you what you need to do. Now, the first thing you need to know is for your run up, basically the steps you take back, is that more is not necessarily better. Sometimes you see players take 10 steps back thinking that the longer their run up, the more speed they have, and therefore the more power they have in their shot, even though that's absolutely not true. If you look at Cristiano Ronaldo, David Luiz, Lionel Messi, as well as a lot of other free kick takers who shoot it with a lot of power, you'll see that they don't actually run up that much. They run up maybe 4 to 5 steps max. That's because you really want to get the most momentum behind your shot, and taking too many steps, you'll just slow yourself down after the first, I'd say obviously 5 or 6 steps is where I think you really kind of maximized the power that you'll be getting. And now these steps, you don't really want to take to any side. You don't want to take those steps really far out to the right. You don't want to take them far out to the left. You basically want to take them straight back and then maybe adjust them to one side. If you're left-footed, you probably want to go 1 or 2 steps to the right. If you're right-footed, you want to go 1 or 2 steps to the left. And by doing so, you're creating an angle where you can really run up the ball straight and hit it with as much power as you can. This leads me into the second part of your shot, which is the actual run-up, the actual steps up until the ball and kicking it. And now while you're running up to the ball, you really want to treat it like a sprint, right? The first 3 to 4 steps are really powerful, really fast, and you want to drive your knees. Doing so will really create the most power that you possibly can and unleash that foot once it actually hits the ball. So if you count 3 to 4 steps running up, you want to make sure that your actual steps are 3 to 4. They want to be quick, they want to be short, and they want to be sharp. Pretty easy, but something you do really need to practice off of free kicks. Obviously, if you're striking the ball off of a shot, it's basically the same principle. You take a bigger touch forward, and you take those 3 to 4 quick touches, or steps, and you really strike that ball as hard as you can. And now once you've perfected this short run up through the drills I'm about to show you after this, it's really important as to how you actually strike the ball with your foot. I see a lot of players trying to hit the dead balls with the inside of their foot, which is not necessarily always going to give you the most powerful shot, or they try to hit with the outside of their foot, or way too much on the top of their foot rather than with what you're actually supposed to do. And now what you're actually supposed to do is hit it with the top of your foot, but more towards the inside. So kind of like where your big toe is. I'll show you on screen now, but you basically, if you think about it, your big toe has a knuckle and you want to hit it right on there. So kind of angling your foot to the right and striking straight through the ball. So even though your foot is angled and you have that sweet spot of where you'll get the most power, you still want to have a very straight follow through with your leg. And so now as you plant your left foot, if you're right-footed I assume, as you plant your left foot right next to the ball, you hit that ball with the sweet spot and then you really kick through, not stopping once you touch the ball, but really swinging through like you would with a baseball bat or when you slap a hockey puck. Swinging through will allow that you get the most power on it and also make sure you don't get injured, which is something really important when you're kicking the ball hard. And now once you've pieced all these steps together, your final product should look something like this. So when you're actually practicing your shot and you're setting yourself up to improve upon your shot, make sure to go through this video and go through it step by step. Look at each of the tips I gave you, each of the proper techniques I showed you, and make sure they align with what your shot looks like for the 4 different steps, which would be the run up, running to the ball, kicking the ball, and then lastly your follow through after the shot. Fortunately, this is not some sort of higher mathematics or physics. It's really not that hard, but it's something that you just have to dedicate a lot of practice to really perfect. Getting my shot to be powerful took years of practice and in-game experience. Now, in terms of drills, there's really not that much you can do. I'd say the number one thing is really, like I said, going through it step by step and making sure your technique is perfect, so that when you're actually using it in the game or practice, you'll have the right technique to improve. But something that's really, really easy to do is, quite frankly, just kick the ball. Practice over and over again into the net. Obviously, it's a little hard to measure if one shot was harder than another, more powerful than another, but over time, obviously, you'll notice, like, hey, the goalie wasn't able to stop my shot, so perhaps my shot is becoming more powerful. What I like to do is typically stand like 5 to 10 yards in front of goal and really just slam them straight on the goal as hard as I can. And then once you get a little bit better, I'd recommend going back and trying to finesse it a little bit more. So hitting it with power into the right corner, into the left corner, top right, top left, even, obviously if you want to place it in the center, those are all things that are worthy of practicing. And right, if you're a center back, maybe take that shot out 30 yards so that in game, if you get the ball off the corner, you know how to hit it. If you're forward, perhaps come in from the left wing and cut in and then hit it powerfully. Different things for different scenarios are all things you can really practice that are really easy to do. And now lastly, those people that stuck around to the end of the video, something that both beginners and experts at powerful shots can really benefit from is actually what you do not on the field, but rather off the field. NCAA D1 player that I've ever talked to, every academy player, every professional player that I've had the opportunity to speak to says that they do this, which is squatting and deadlifting. So basically doing gym exercises to make your legs more powerful. I mean, if you think about it, if your legs are more powerful, ergo your shots are gonna be more powerful. It's a pretty simple equation. I typically like to squat once a week and deadlift once a week, not on the same days, but different days, so I can really maximize both different exercises. And that way, you're working on your hamstring, on your glutes, and that, and therefore your motion will be more powerful and you'll get a more powerful shot. It's a really simple thing that not a lot of soccer players do, maybe because they don't have access to a gym membership or anything like that, but will actually make you a lot more powerful. So if you don't have access to gym membership, see if you can maybe access your local gym, maybe your high school has a gym or anything like that, or maybe your college does, and I guarantee you your shot will become more powerful and you'll also be able to kick it way, way further than you thought you ever could. So with that being said, if you did enjoy this video, make sure to subscribe down below for more videos like this. Make sure to leave it a big thumbs up if you did appreciate the tips and tricks I did show you and the breakdown step by step of how to get a harder, more powerful soccer shot. If you liked it and thought it was helpful, let me know down below. If you didn't find it helpful, also let me know down below why and what you would like to see me improve upon in future videos. With that being said, stay tuned for the next video. Thank you for watching this week. Peace.